up? What up, MJ? Getting everything finalized here. Starting soon. Give me some water, man. My throat is dry as heck. It is what it is. Excuse me. You know what? Let's get this started. I think we got everything basically set up here. I think we're ready to go. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Purple and Gold Bars Show. We have made it to Friday. You know, that Friday news dump. Today, we're going to make it a little bit of a hot take review instead, kind of covering some topics from around the NFL that I feel like are pretty funny, especially coming after an interesting Thursday night football game. Man, was that an awesome way to end football. Wow. Wow. Thursday, I mean, what a way to start this week of football, not end. I still got Monday on the mind, I guess. What a heck of a 2 games on Monday. But today we're going to be going over 3 distinct clips here for you. The first one, we're going to go over Micah Parsons complaining about officiating. We're also going to go over Mike Tomlin discussing the trade between the Browns and the Bengals. And then finally, we're going to head over to First Things First and take a look at the segment that they call Monday Morning Headlines, or Future Headlines for Monday morning here. And I'll give you guys mine. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on the Purple and Gold Bar Show. I am your host, Supreme Overlord, a.k.a. Mr. AI Man 3000, a.k.a. Purple and Gold Bars at your service. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Really do appreciate it. And let's get intro going. Let's freaking fracking go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive right into this hot take review. Let's start with the man of the hour.
5 years they're not gonna call, you'll eventually start worrying about it. They don't call offsides for offense, but they'll call it on defense. They won't call offensive pass interference, but they'll call defensive pass interference immediately. Like, we know what they're trying to do. They want to load the points up so fans can be happy, and you know what I mean? They'll call defensive holding, but they won't call offensive holding. Like let's just wake up.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
Jerry.
I'm sorry I had to do that to you guys. I had to. Let me mute them. We'll put that on loop here so you guys can see that while I talk about Mr. Mike Parsons. And boy, I'm going to have the same sentiment that I had for Mr. Robert Saleh. How about you stop worrying about what you can't control and worry about the things you can control? How about you just ignore the officiating? Because guess what? Whether they're biased, whether they're human and make just bad mistakes, you can't complain about something that you have zero control over. How about you make the games so much of a blowout, or keep it so out of reach for your opponent so that you don't have to complain about the officiating. So, you know, it makes me laugh watching Micah talk like this, because it's like, bro, you're a pretty damn good player. And yeah, I get it. Sometimes things get missed, and sometimes it might feel like over the years you got, you know, they're kind of against you or something like that. But let's be honest, dude. Every single player in the league feels that way. You know, I'm always getting held. You know, I'm sure JJ's feeling the same way. Jettis is like, man, I'm getting held every single time I make it down the field. I bet you Derrick Henry's like, man, they're freaking face masking me. They're hitting me low. Every quarterback is like, man, I'm getting hit like late every time. Like, where are all the roughing the passer penalties? Like, what is going on? You know, the Detroit Lions are always complaining about the officiating. And like I say to them, and like I say to Micah Parsons, how about you guys win the game outright and make it so that the refs don't have to be a factor? How about that? You ever thought about that? Controlling what you have in control. So guess what? If the play doesn't go your way and you feel like you got held, how about the next time you go out there, you prove yourself by getting a sack or making creating a turnover, something so that it takes the referees out of it. Like, man, just irks me when players talk about the refs or bad calls or there's it's illegal sign stealing. Hey, guess what? It's part of the game. People are going to be doing and looking for any way to freaking win. You guys not forget that the saying goes, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And that's a broad way. I'm not condoning cheating or anything, but the fact of the matter is what that statement is trying to say is when you are wanting to win at all costs, you're going to try to find every which way. And sometimes, you might be a little bit aware of where the referees are. Maybe the defender kind of uses that to its advantage so they can kind of hide what they're doing. You know how many times we've seen pass interferences just because the ref wasn't in the right position to see the hold or see the shirt grab. They don't call it. It happens. It's part of the game. What's going on, Eric? Thank you so much for joining me, brother. New Mexico is in the house. Raquel and Florinda, I appreciate you guys. So that's what I'm going to say to Mr. Micah Parsons. How about you just stop fixating on what you can't fix and just worry about what you can do? How about when you feel upset that the refs are against you, how about you just try harder? How about you try to make plays that they can't deny? How about that? That's what generational talents do. You see Jamar Chase yesterday complaining about anything at all? No. He just did whatever he had to do and put up the yardage that he did, regardless of if he felt like he was getting pulled or interfered with every single drive. It didn't matter. Just like Baker. He doesn't care about injuries. He doesn't care about the narrative. He doesn't care about the referees. He just puts his head down and works and does everything he can to win a game. How about you do that, Mr. Parsons? Because you sound like a woman complaining like that. Like, no offense to the ladies, but I'm just saying. This is a man's sport. Let's act like men. Let's not complain because there's no place for it. Let's just do the work, get it done, and move on, okay? Man, this generation really is getting soft. All right, let's move on to the next clip from for Hot Take Review. And this one I got something to say about this one. Mr. Mike Tomlin, let's take it away.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
Ooh, doesn't make sense to you, huh? Oh, Tomlin. Put on loop so you have that going on the background. But hey, it makes sense to me. You know why it makes sense to me? Because there's two trains of thought that I can think of when it comes to why the Browns would make this decision. One, because, hey, they see that they might still be able to scrape up enough wins this season once things start turning around, or maybe they have some optimism in the rest of their season. They got a phenomenal defense. Maybe they just think that Dylan Gabriel will kind of get into his own and they might be able to scrape 8, 9 wins, maybe 10. You don't know, right? But, and if that's the case, if the Steelers run away with it and they have 11, 12, 13 wins, it doesn't matter how many wins that they put together, right? So why not trade Flacco over to the Bengals that has a high-powered offense and with a competent quarterback? You saw what they could do. Maybe they can indirectly work against you by trying to make you get more losses. If they can, and now the Bengals beat you twice, That's 2 more losses that you don't have on your record. That might bring you to 9 wins. Might bring you to 10 wins. That might bring you to the same winning record as the Browns. Maybe that's what they were thinking. Or maybe they were just being petty and thinking, you know what? We may not be able to pull enough wins off here, but this Bengals team does have a really nice offense, and they might be able to take a run at you. And maybe they're going to be looking for that moral victory of like, hey, that's our guy on the other end of the on the Bengals roster that's putting that dagger into the Steelers, making it that much harder for them to get in the playoffs. And hey, if I was the Browns and after tonight I have either one of those trains of thought, I'm laughing all the way to the bank. Because one, hey, guess what? We might have a chance. This might be the tape that other teams needed to be like, oh, yeah, that's how we deal with that jumbo package. Oh, that's how we're supposed to go at these guys, because if we do that and we play better defense than the Bengals because they don't have a great defense, and we do, we might actually embarrass these Steelers. So indirectly, if I was the Browns, I'd be like, hey, this is as good as a win for us as it is for the Steelers, because you guys wouldn't have won that game if we didn't give you Flacco. So you know what? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just being all out petty and trying to do everything in their power to make it so the Steelers suffer a couple more losses than they should have maybe. So I understand, Mr. Mike Tomlin. You know, maybe you just didn't want to say that in front. Maybe you didn't want to come across as salty. But let's be real. You're a smart man. You know what they were doing. It wasn't incompetence. It wasn't stupidity. It was calculated, okay? These Browns are trying to move on and trying to start fresh with Dylan Gabriel and potentially, if everything goes wrong, move on to Shedeur. And so guess what? What better way to start the next phase of their season by getting rid of the quarterback that basically would have been sitting the rest of the year and having getting something in return. You know? At this point, why not? So, Mr. Tomlin, I think you know better, and I think you're just playing it up for the cameras. But you know what? What a Thursday night win. And let's wrap it up here, guys. Oh, I forgot to add, we'll add it here in a second here, but let's start with the third clip that I want to talk about.
Time now for a throwback segment that we haven't done in a while because it's Bruce's segment and you don't like other people to shout. No, that's not true. We used to do it and you vetoed it and started yelling at the producers.
That's not true.
Said, I don't want to do this.
I said Bruce should only do it. Brew is the only one who actually wrote for a newspaper, except for you did like a crime blotter once.
I didn't do a crime blotter. I was writing for 2 local newspapers,
Yeah,
mostly
okay.
covering zoning regulations.
Okay, yeah.
In any event.
Well, since you guys are arguing with one another, as I often do, I'm going to bring the harmony.
Thank you.
All of us are
That's why
featured
we're Bruce.
on this week's or next week's Monday morning headline.
Oh.
It is about, there it is, Texas Hold'em. Commanders royally flush Cowboys. Jaden aces
What are you
the
and
game.
Wilds doing?
We're
Oh, man, this crew
bewildered,
is-
like we were when you went on your whole rant.
You know, I mean, I like Nick Wright and whatnot, but he's not my cup of tea. But together, all three of those guys can be pretty funny at times. I am definitely a Kevin Wilds fan. I think he's hilarious. All the green screen work that he was doing last season for Mahomes Mountain, and just he's a comedian at heart, and I love seeing that. But you know, so I wanted to kind of agree with that, because I feel like the Commanders are going to be stomping out these Cowboys this week, because it's, you know, they're going to face a better team. Cowboys face a defensively good team. They don't do so well, right? So, and if they do get into a boat race, Jaden Daniels is just a better quarterback in my opinion. So I think that's going to be an easy W for them. But last one, I want to show you guys my headline. Hold on, I got to add the image here. I forgot to add it. My goodness. Oh, wrong one. That's not the one that I wanted to add. I wanted to add source. Where is my newspaper headline? Here we go. This is the headline that I'm expecting Carson Wentz delivers a dagger to the Eagles season in revenge game. Now, I have to be, you know me, I'm a guy of probabilities, and as of right now, it's definitely trending towards Carson Wentz going to be the starter. 2 days in a row with JJ being limited participant isn't a good sign. If he was a full participant today, I'd be more optimistic that JJ would start over Carson. But I got to be real. I think it's going to be Carson, and I'm confident in QB2. I think that we're going to do a great job. I think we're going to do a good combination of running the ball and quick passes to simulate the same effect as a run game. And I think we're just going to be too much. I think overall, we're just going to be way more efficient than these Eagles. You check out my preview and breakdown. I went extensively into both games because I didn't want to just hitch my analysis or my intuition on the narrative that, like, oh, these Eagles are done. That's going to be the easiest win of the season. So let's like move on. It's gonna, why even discuss? No. I really dove deep. I looked into it. That's why it was an hour-long breakdown. And at the same time, I put together in the background. I had also a Madden simulation playing as I give you guys the breakdown, so you guys had something fun to watch while I gave you that breakdown. So don't forget to go see that breakdown. If you have to even put it on 2x speed, so you can kind of get through it or whatever. Whatever it is, but I think it's a great one. A lot of great points. I think it gives you guys a solid analysis of something to kind of figure out. And like I was saying, I think that it's going to be an incredibly close game. I see a 51% chance for our Vikings winning. I see like a 49% chance for these Eagles winning because there are a lot of factors at play here. And yeah, I took the Vikings in a close game. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 3-point game for either side. 24 to 20, 20 to 17, 27-24, something like that. Totally feasible for these both games in either direction. But I have faith that this roster and everything that we have is just in a much better place than these Eagles, right? Everything that we've seen, just looking at their play from the -4 passing yards, 1.5 to 0 passing yards in the second half. There's just a lot of dysfunction there, and it's going to be very difficult for them to be putting a perfect game plan or a perfect game together when they haven't done it yet. They haven't put a full 4 quarters together, and they're going to have to beat us. And I think that home field advantage is going to give us a massive advantage at the beginning of the game, and as long as we don't mess up our early drives and put at the very least 3 points every single time before the Eagles start getting a hang of home field and start having less false starts or less stalled drives because of home field advantage, it's just going to be one of those things where they're just going to turn into a one-dimensional team. And they're going to have to throw the ball more, and we see where Jalen's deficiencies are this year, specifically in the passing game, right? So that's why I'm giving the advantage to the Vikings by a small margin, but I think we take it. I think it's going to be, even though it's going to be close, I feel like the team will play in a way that fans are going to be left happy, knowing that we were as efficient and with little errors as possible, and looking more like the team that we expected to see going into the season, prior to all these injuries, prior to Jordan Addison rejoining the team. That's what I think we're going to see. So I hope you guys enjoy this weekend game, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. I hope to hit that by the end of the calendar year, and with your support, I think we can do it. Don't forget to check out on Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be on the Real 2 Sports podcast again, talking football, hopefully making the Purple and Gold Bars crew proud, talking that talk like Mike says, and giving my objective and optimistic perspective on those things. So again, thank you so much for joining me today and on this hot take review, the Friday live. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. I love all of you guys, including you Lions fans. Even though I think you guys need to find Jesus, because if you did, you guys wouldn't be Lions fans. Let's go, everybody. God bless you all. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Eric. Skol Vikings. It's about to be a good one.